Hi, this is Scott Clement with Profound Logic. I wanted to show you a quick example of making a please wait message in Profound UI's rich display. So first, let me show you the idea. The idea is you have written some business logic and it's a long-running process, a program that takes seconds to run or even minutes to run, whatever it is. So I just made a test program. As you can see, it's kind of a, joke program. But the idea is I've got a screen, and when I click submit, it's going to take a long time to run. I want the user to know that it's going to take a long time. So when I submit it, it brings up this showing that something is happening, and it says, hang on, this will take 10 seconds. Now there's also a spinning circle up here. That's always there in Profound UI. It's built in, but the users don't always see that, so I had the bigger one in the middle to make it more obvious. And then, of course, when the process was done, it displayed a screen saying process complete. So you may be asking yourself, how would you code something like that? So let me show you how I did it. Here's my Visual Designer, and these are just normal widgets that I dragged in, nothing exciting about them, except that it says they're exciting, right? So this is just a label, and what I did is I put a button here to submit the screen, and I have the ID of that button set to submit button. And I have a second button here called hidden button. So it's another button that I dragged on the screen, and I set the ID to hidden button. And you can make it hidden just by right-clicking it. So if it wasn't already hidden and I came in here, I can just right-click it and choose hide, and it will hide it. And the same thing for this and this. So this is just an image widget, just a standard image widget like this that you can drag in here and size and so forth. And so I dragged it in here and I right-clicked it and hid it just like I did with the hidden button. And I made its ID be called wait image. And I also dragged a label in here for text. So I dragged in this label and I made it say, hang on, this will take 10 seconds. And I set its ID to wait message. The idea is when you click submit, it's going to make these two widgets, which are both hidden, it's going to make them visible so the user can see them. And then it will submit the screen. So the RPG program will be running and those things will be visible while it's running. When the RPG program then displays the second screen, of course, it wipes all of this out so they won't be able to see it anymore. So that'll just be visible while it's running. So how do I do that in code? Well, one of the basic problems we have to solve is that normally what you do when you want a button to submit control to an RPG program or Node.js or whatever the backend program is you have its response property set to an indicator so that when you click it, it submits control. But in this case, we don't want it to submit control immediately. First, we want to make these things visible, the spinning circle and the text, we want to make those visible. So how do we do that? We do a second button. This button, the hidden button, has the response property bound instead of the submit button. The idea being, this is the real button that submits control to the RPG program, but the user can't see that button. It's hidden. So when the user clicks this submit button, it's going to run some code that's in the onClick event. So let's look at the onClick property of this widget, and you'll see what the code does. First, it takes the submit button. This is the one the user can see, and it sets its disabled property to true. And what that does is it grays out the button so the user can't click it again. It'll just looks a little nicer that way. Then it goes to that wait image, that's our spinning circle over here, and it changes its visibility property to visible. So the user will be able to see it. And the same thing with the message that says, hang on, this will take 10 seconds. It makes that visible. Finally, it does PUI click and it clicks the hidden button. So the code actually clicks the second button, and that's what actually submits control to the RPG program. And then how do you make this spinning circle look like this? It's just an image. So like I said, you drag in the image widget, and then it's got a property called image source. And so if you look at that property, I went to this folder in the IFS. So this is www followed by whatever your instance name is, followed by htdocs, profound UI, prod data, and images. And in that folder is that image. It's just an animated image, a GIF. It's called atrium macro loading.gif. Now, it doesn't have to be that one. That's just one that we already had with the product that was a good example. You could also use this one that looks like that, or you could use this one if you like that one better, or you could find another animated image on the internet that just looks the way you want it to look. It doesn't matter. The point is that when you make that visible, it looks to the user like a wait message. So in this case, I'll show you the RPG program. It's not a very interesting program, honestly, because this is just a test program to illustrate the concept. It's not a real program. So all it does here is it displays the first screen. So this is a screen that says this is an exciting screen and has the submit button. And then it just does a delay for 10 seconds. Now, of course, this is where you'd have your real business logic that takes a while. But I'm just doing a sleep just to delay for 10 seconds just for a sake of a test. And then it displays the second screen. And the second screen is the one that just says that the process has completed. So it just says process complete. And that's just an ordinary screen, nothing special about that. So, that's the whole process. Once you've got all of that put together, which is very easy to do in Profound UI, you go in there and run it. And when you click the submit button, you get this nice waiting screen. And then in this case, it'll go for 10 seconds. And after the 10 seconds, it displays the second screen, and the second screen will say that the process is complete. Thank you.